5. I am going to be following the Godot tutorial for the game. There's two tutorials that I'm going to be following tonight. One is the the first one is your first 2D game. I did do some minor. Actually, speaking of, I'll go ahead and can I pull up a? Let's see. I'm gonna pull up open a. I'm locked into this scene. Into this. Okay, yeah. I'm locked into these, so I cannot open a different project at this time. But I did learn how to make a fairly simple 3D space, like just a simple 10 by 10 meter flat plane with a tic tac shaped player character. Just to learn a little bit about the. It was following another tutorial. This is going to be me learning how to make smaller games, but full games. They are just me learning how to do. All right. Okay. Cool. Copy that. And I'm going to get my announcements out now. Now that that's situated. Here's the YouTube link. Okay, so I'm going to get my announcements out now. And then we can get started. I am live on both YouTube and Twitch, as I was last night. And I made an announcement earlier, but again, I can't thank you all enough for getting me to 70 subscribers on YouTube over the last month or so. That has been such a wonderful thing to see. It's been ages since I was even above 50. And then suddenly, once I started actually doing more, lo and behold, I actually am making headway, and that is I'm just really, really happy. I'm glad that I'm doing so well, but I know it's because of you guys. Thank you all for supporting me through all of the trials and tribulations that are being a streamer, even though I'm barely doing I've been barely doing anything until more recently. Especially with me starting to pick up Godot and getting back into learning Blender. It's it's pretty humbling having come from, well, that's it. I shouldn't say that. It reminds me that I should just stay humble, because that's who I try to be, and I don't want to lose sight of that. All right. So I am going to. I'm going to go ahead and close the one window I don't need any longer. And yeah. So I am going to start I've got a few of the smaller things out of the way, the things that you wouldn't be able to see anyway. Okay. So. All right. Organizing the project. In this project, we will make 3 independent scenes: player, mob, and HUD, which will combine into the game's main scene, which is what I've already got those 4 scenes set up. So we've got I got the simpler, easier things to do taken care of. And then anything that I don't think you would see. Actually, I'm going to check. Does the setting? Yeah, you don't see any of the settings, so when I have to do that, I will let you know what I'm doing. Okay. Pull up the chat again so I can keep an eye on that. Alrighty. Okay, organizing this project. In a larger project, it might be useful to create folders to hold the various scenes and their scripts, but for this relatively small game, you can save your scenes and scripts in the project's root folder, identified by res:// as you see here. Actually, I need to make sure you can see my, yeah. I want to check a thing up here. Let's see. Video. Advanced. That might be general. Let's see. I want to see. Hired cursor over projectors. Make projectors always on top. Anna, is there a way to make it where I can see my... Hold on. That's something I should have looked into before. Alright. Okay. Capture... Okay. Capture cursor. Okay. In the properties of the source. Okay, so that'll be in properties cursor. Okay. Cool. Now you can see what I'm doing. Cool. Awesome. That'll be... I should have had that enabled earlier for this in particular. Alright. I'm not expecting this to be the most popular stream. This is me wanting to record my progress. And I haven't been making any yet, so let us actually start. Okay. So. Next. Alright. The first scene will define the player object. One of the benefits of creating a separate player scene is that we can test it separately, even before we've created other parts of the game. Node structure. To begin with, we need to choose a root node for the player object. Alright, so I should actually delete that node. Delete the node. Yes. other node. All right. So to begin with, we need to choose a root node for the player object. As a general rule, the scene's root node should reflect the object's desired functionality, what the object is. In the upper left corner, in the Scene tab, click the Other Node button and add an Area 2D node to the scene. Okay, and that's what I've done. All right, I'm going to save that. When you add the Area 2D node, Godot will display the following warning icon next to it in the scene tree. Blah, 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 as you can see here. Let me get some water first, because this is going to be a very talking-heavy stream. I do have some background noise going on to keep it from being just dead air. if I stop to read something before actually talking about it. Anyway. Okay. This warning tells us that the Area 2D node requires a shape to detect collisions or overlaps. We can ignore the warning temporarily because we will first set up the player's visuals using an animated sprite. Once the visuals are ready, we will add a collision shape as a child node. This allows us to accurately size and position the shape based on the sprite's appearance. With Area 2D, we can detect objects that overlap or run into the player. Change the node's name to player, double-clicking, and then player. Save. I'm going to be saving every time I make a major change, unless I can immediately see it's a mistake. Just pointing that out now. Okay. All right. Now that we've set the scene's root node, we can add additional nodes to give it more functionality. Before we add any children to the player node, we want to make sure we don't accidentally move or resize them by clicking them. Okay. Select the node and click the icon to the right of the lock. Group selected nodes. All right, group the selected nodes with its children. And that'll also reflect over here. Children are not selectable. Click to make them selectable. This causes the parent to be selected when any child node is clicked in 2D and 3D view. Save the scene as player.scene or TSCN. I do already have that. I just have capital P instead of the lowercase p, like they show in the tutorial. Neither here nor there. It is as correct as it needs to be. And save. Note: for this project, we will be following the Godot naming conventions. GD script classes, nodes, use Pascal case variables and use snake case, and constants use all caps. Okay, so I want to change it to the lowercase p. So, save scene as. Yes. And then I can delete the capital P player scene. Oh. There we go. It remade, so it's fine. Click on the player node and add Control A on Windows or Linux, a child node, animated 2D sprite. So I can, I don't think it shows on screen for you, but animated 2D sprite. Create. All right. The animated sprite, 2D sprite, animated sprite 2D, will handle the appearance and animations for our player. Notice there's a warning symbol next to the note. An animated sprite 2D requires sprite frames, which is a list, which requires a sprite frames resource, which is a list of animations it can display. Make sure animated sprite 2D is selected, and then find the sprite frames property under the animation section in the inspector. Welcome in, Chris. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. You're figuring out how everything works. How are you doing this evening? Alright. Under the animation, sprite frames, new sprite frames. Alright. Click on the sprite frames. Alright. Alright, so... I see. Okay. Click on the sprite frames you just created and to open the sprite frames panel. Which is what I've done already. Alright. On the left is a list of animations. Click the default one and rename it to walk. Then click add animation. Pardon, itch. Add animation to create animation called up. And then name up. Okay. Find the player images in the file system doc. They're in the art folder you unzipped earlier. Drag the two images for each animation into the animation frames side of the panel for the corresponding animation. So, art, player. Okay, it immediately added the first one. Boop, 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 boop. All right. And then for up, boop, boop. All right. The player images are a bit too large for the game window, so we need to scale them down. Animated sprite 2D. So the scale property all right, so we need to set the scale property, which is under transform, to 0.5. Check to make sure both are done. That is the case. All right. All right. Finally, add a collision sprite shape, collision shape 2D as a child of player. So click player, add child node. We're going to find collision shape 2D in that menu here that it opens up when you go to add a child node, add a node, and create. All right. All right. So this will determine finally add a collision shape 2D as a child of player. This will determine the player's hitbox or bounds of its collision area. For this character, capsule shape 2D node gives the best fit the next to shape in the inspector. Click empty and then go to new capsule shape 2D. You can't see that because I'm blocking it. So I'm actually going to, I normally wouldn't, but I'm actually going to turn off my webcam view, because in my chat, there's not a really good way to have my chat. So I'm just going to go ahead and have it not show up. I'm just going to, oh, you can't see that at all anyways. That's fine. It blocks off too much of the screen for what I'm trying to show anyway. So now it says capsule blah blah blah. And then when you're finished your player scene. All right, so we are going to do this until it covers everything, basically. Should look something like that. Okay, yeah, on the image they show there, it does also show. They're using walk for this, so I'm going to switch it to walk to make it. All right. Once this is done, the warning on the Area 2D node will disappear, as it now has a shape assigned and can interact with other objects. Make sure to save the scene again after these changes. All right. Save. In the next part, we'll add a script to the player node to move and animate it. All right, simple as. Have my chat open so it's actually visible. Okay. All right. Coding the player. In this lesson, we'll add player movement, animation, and set it up to detect collisions. To do so, we need to add some functionality that we can't get from a built-in node. So, we'll add a script. Click the player node, so the main parent in this case. Excuse me, pardon. So, it must have been another Twitch notification. Anyways, sorry. In the script settings window, you can leave the settings as default and just click create, which we will do. And then it opens the, in fact, I want to make sure. Okay, yes, it does show what I was hoping it would show. It does actually show the scripting. This is where it's going to be a bit difficult for me, because I say a bit, it's going to be very difficult at first, because I haven't done any kind of coding until today since 2016. So I do apologize Granted, I am following a tutorial, so it won't be as difficult. However, it's still going to be a pain to do for a bit. Okay. Start by declaring member variables this object will need. So, at export var speed equal to 400. Variable screen underscore size. All right. So they have notation here. So there. And then okay. And that's what they have in the tutorial. This is all boring mumbo jumbo for the layman, people who don't do coding. But this is very important. This is the back end of a game. This is how the game functions. This is why I'm using Godot, because it uses a fairly simple script. It's fairly simple to work with. And so far, it's seeming fairly simple to learn, which is awesome. Okay, using the export keyword on the first variable speed allows us to set its value in the inspector. This can be handy for values that you want to be able to adjust like a node's built-in properties, just like a node's built-in properties. Click on the player node and you'll see the property now appears in the inspector in a new section with the name of the script. As you see here. Remember, if you change the value here, it will override the value written in the script. So we could do 40,000. And that would overwrite this. It doesn't actually change it, but it overwrites. We want it 400 for the time being. We're not playing 40K. Just saying. That would be near impossible to work with. All right. Your player.gd script should already contain a underscore ready in parentheses and a I did select the script, but it doesn't already have those. If you didn't select the default template shown above, create these functions while following the lesson. So, I'm going to put that above the variable. I'm going to put it near the top here. Ready to the void. I don't need that, though. Screen size equal get viewport dot size. All right. Oh, I forgot to do. Oop. There we are. Now we can use the underscore process bracket. I'm going to do another space. So it doesn't worry about these extra spaces. I'm just going to, the hashtag or the pound or the symbol here, the number sign, is the symbol for making comments in many scripts, but this is why I'm doing it. You ignore anything typed after that. Just as a quick light tap on the basis there. Okay. Now I can use the process function to define what the player will do. Actually, that might go... I want to see how... Okay, so... That'll be something after the export and the variable size and the variable screen size. So... underscore process... delta... I'm just going to remove the excess there. So I already have these inputs, if I'm not mistaken, set up. Because I worked with this a little bit. I have move up. It's more from for the 3D thing I was doing earlier. It was move forward, but I can use move forward as move up, move backward as down, and then left and right would stay the same. I just wanted to make that known that I did already have these set up because I was part of my messing around earlier, I'll say. So, I will read through this. I've got the portion that I needed to start with there set up. Okay. I'm going to use WASD instead of up, down, left, right on the keyboard, just because that's what I already have set up. So, just that is the one place I'm going to differ from what the tutorial says. Alright. Alright, so so I'm going to get back to going through the tutorial now. Sorry, just wanted to make that quick little aside known. Go through and... Alright, I'm going to... Actually, hold on. I'm going to set myself as invisible on Discord for now. And then close the window for the time being. Alright, now we can use the process function to define what the player will do. The process function is called every frame, so we'll use it to update elements of our game, which we expect will change often. For the player, we need to do the following: check for input, move in the given direction, and play the appropriate animation. First, we need to check for input. Is the player pressing a key? For this game, we have 4 direction inputs to check. input actions are defined in the project settings under input map. I have mine already set up, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm just going to use the ones I already have set up. So, yep. I've got move up, down, I've got up, down, left, and right defined as forward, backward, left, and right. And that's what I'm going to use. Just because it's simpler to repeat those than it is to create new variables. Okay, we only mapped one key for each input action, but you can assign map multiple keys, joystick buttons, or mouse buttons to the same input action. So, you can detect whether a key is pressed using input is underscore action underscore pressed bracket. So first and foremost, we are going to do following their script here, variable velocity space equal space vector 2.0 all caps. Player movement vector. All right. If input, capital I input, is underscore action underscore pressed move or oh, I don't have those set in this project. Okay. That's going to be annoying. That is going to be an annoying input defaults. Let's see. So I'm going to have to make these quickly. But I am going to keep my thought process from earlier. So move add. And we're going to go ahead and right would be D. Move underscore left. Add. Left would be A. Move underscore up would be W. When this would be move underscore up W. Okay. Move all right. S. Okay. I've got move right, left, up, and down set to WASD. Velocity x equal to 1. So it'll have a velocity of 1 in the positive x. If input is underscore action underscore pressed. Move left. All right, so that's going to be velocity x minus equal 1. So that's going to be a velocity of 1 in the negative x. So left. And then if input dot is action pressed move up underscore up. And now velocity dot y positive equal 1. Oh, move down would be positive equal 1. But I need to change it to move down. So there we are. And then if input is action pressed move underscore up, velocity y minus equal 1. Okay. So that is the variables set for movement. Now it's also showing if velocity dot length less than 0, velocity equal dot normalized times speed. Unexpected if in class body. Let's see if okay. Animated right 2D dot play. Oh, I see. Indent. Oh. Indent else animated sprite 2D stop. Oh, let's see. Arctic added me on Discord. Give me just a moment. Alright. Let's see. Accept. Alright. Alright, so. Alright, I've got the... Okay, we start by setting velocity to 0, 0 by default. By default, the player should not be moving. Then we check each input and add or subtract from the velocity. To obtain total direction. Alright. Okay. Yes. For example, if you hold right and down at the same time, the resulting velocity will be 1, 1. In this case, since we're adding a horizontal and a vertical amount, the player would move faster faster diagonally than if it just moved horizontally. We can prevent this if we normalize the velocity, which means we set its length to 1, then multiply it by the desired speed. This means no more faster diagonal movement. You can also check whether the player is moving, so we can call play or stop on the animation 2D sprite, or sprite 2D. The $sign is shorthand for get node. So in the code above, $sign animated sprite 2D.play is the same as get node animated sprite 2D.play. In GD script, $sign also returns the node to the relative path from the current node, or returns null if the node is not found. Since animated sprite 2D is a child of the current node, we can use animated $sign animated sprite 2D. All right. Lots of things happening in Discord. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry. Now that we have movement direction, we can update the player's position. We also use the clamp to prevent it from leaving the screen. Clamping a value means restricting it to a given range. Add the following to the bottom of the underscore process function. Make sure it's not indented under the else. Position plus equal. Oh, so okay, so I just need to make sure it's only one indentation, not position plus equal velocity times delta. Sorry, my wife brought me a sweet treat. Just for proper syntax, spacing is important. Okay. Position equal position dot clamp vector 2 dot 0 comma screen underscore size. Okay. The delta parameter in the process function refers to the frame length, amount of time that the previous frame took to complete. Using this value ensures that your movement will remain consistent even if the frame rate changes. Alright, so we're going to... Oh, this is going to be interesting. So, click Run Current Scene, which is this button here. Oh. Oh, it's not moving. Something happened. Alright. Yeah, you don't see what I see here, so I'm going to see about adding that as a window capture. So hold on, I'm going to redo. And then... Is it going to show? No, that's not the... It's not the one. Oh. Okay, so something happened. I'm gonna... Okay, so that's not working. Alright. An error in the debugger panel says attempt to call function play in base null instance. Ah. It doesn't show the actual game itself, it just shows the... Okay. Interesting. Invalid operands callable an int, an operator. Line 22. Let's see. I'm going to go back to there. Oh, I forgot. That's how simple it is to make mistakes. So, that is how easy you can make mistakes in this. My little guy is moving around. You can't see it because... Let's see. Hold on. I want to see... let's do a... display capture here. Capture display. Primary monitor. I'm going to go ahead and remove the game capture, but yeah. My little guy's walking around. Thank you to the Godot engine for making it fairly simple, but little guys just walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound. Do. Yeah. So. Cool. And then I'm going to switch back to game capture as my main. But yeah. Display capture goes away. Oop. Oh. Game capture. There we are. Hold on. There it goes. That was weird, but it's fine. All right. So we have confirmed that the player creature character is working. Awesome. Okay, so now the player can move. We need to change the animation. Animated sprite 2D is playing based on its direction. We have the walk animations, which show the player walking to the right. This animation could be flipped using the flip H property for left movement. We also have up movement, which could be flipped vertically with flip V for downward movement. So I'm going to check a thing real quick. There must be something I missed. Because it's only doing the right for me here. Let's see. I'm working on... let's see. Okay. If velocity X... Okay. That's something I didn't see there. Let's see. Yeah. That is not something they actually covered in this tutorial here, but that's fine. I'm going to add these bits of code in manually to... Let's see. Okay. So. Alright, just want to check that. Alright, so. If velocity dot x does not equal 0, animated sprite 2D dot animation equal walk. Animation sprite animated right 2D dot flip v underscore v equal false. All right, and then animated sprite 2D dot flip underscore h equal velocity dot x less than that was so less than 0. I got that first. So greater than, less than. Velocity x greater than 0. If velocity dot y equal 0, animated sprite 2D dot animation equal up. Animated sprite 2D dot flip underscore v equal velocity dot y less than or greater than 0. All right. So this is all under that process function here. No, I want to close that. There we go. Okay, so The Boolean assignments in the code above are common shorthand for programmers. Since we're doing a comparison test, or Boolean, and also assigning a Boolean value, we can do both at the same time. Consider this code versus the one-line Boolean assignment above. If velocity x less than 0, animated sprite 2D flip h equals true. Else, animated sprite flip h equals false. I am not getting any of my Twitch notifications showing up here. That is odd. Alright, yeah. Okay, so we're going to save, and then alright, let me display. My little guy is flip-flopping upside down all the way around, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's working. The code is functioning properly. Yeah, this is the size that it's supposed to be, by the way. 480 by 720. All right. Oop. Okay, so pull the tutorial back up. A common mistake here is to type the names of the animations wrong. Animation names in the sprite frames panel must match what you type in the code. If you named the animation walk with a capital W, also use a capital W in the code. Capital W. When you're sure movement is working correctly, add this line to _ready. Hide. All right. I'm going to add it to the end here. Hide. All right. Actually, hold on. That's not the right spot. So it does have to. I'm going to indent. Okay. That's better. We want player to detect when it's hit by an enemy. We haven't made any enemies yet. That's okay, because we're going to use Godot's signal functionality to make it work. Add the following to the top of the script. Add it after extends area 2D. If you're using C#, add it after public partial class player area 2D. We're going to do this, and then signal hit. This defines a custom signal called hit that we will have our player send out when it collides with an enemy. We will use area 2D to detect the collision. Select player node and click node tab next to inspector tab to see the list of signals the player can emit. Notice our custom hit signal is there as well. So here. Since our enemies are going to be rigid body 2D nodes, we want the body _entered body colon space node 2D signal. The signal will be emitted when a body contacts the player. Click connect, and the connect symbol window appears. Alright, so we're going to do body entered, and then connect. And it pulls up a window you can't see, but we'll do... Godot will create a function that with the exact name, that exact name directly in the script for you. You don't need to change the default settings right now. If you're using an external text editor, for example, Visual Studio Code, a bug currently prevents Godot from doing so. It will be sent to your external editor, but the new function won't be there. In this case, you'll need to write the function yourself into the player's script file. So, it says don't make any changes and just connect. So it added a function on-bodied entered body pass. Replace with function body. Note the green icon indicating that a signal is connected to this function. This does not mean the function exists on that signal, only that the signal will attempt to connect to a function with that name. Double check that the spelling of the function matches exactly. So they don't have the node 2D or the void there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. And there we go. Next, add this code to the function. Hide. So where pass is, hide. And then I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Enter. Hit dot emit. Must be deferred, says we can't change physics properties on a physics callback. Collision shape 2D dot set underscored deferred open bracket disabled comma true. Each time an enemy hits the player, the signal is going to be emitted. We need to disable the player's collision so we don't trigger the hit signal more than once. Disabling the area's collision shape can cause an error if it happens in the middle of the engine's collision processing. Using set deferred tells Godot to wait to disable the shape until it's safe to do so. The last piece is to add a function we can call to reset the player when starting a new game. So, function start position colon position equals space equals space POS go collision shape 2D dot disabled space equals space false. Okay. I've added spaces and I can get rid of the excess indentations to clean up. But you do want some amount of space in the code to make notes as you go. It is good to learn about how to do that. Here, I'm just copying it straight from what they show here. With the player working, we'll work on the enemy in the next lesson. So again, I'm just going to say this. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting me through my journey on Twitch and YouTube real quick while we're at a fairly good stopping point. This has been not what I was trying to do. Sorry. Save. There. Now the player is completely finished. I'm going to take a quick break to have some more water. I am definitely going to need to make another run to get more at some point later on. I don't know how long I'm going to go. This will be hour 3, roughly, of me working towards getting stuff made in the Godot engine today. I may call a break to play something in about an hour or two, but that's neither here nor there. I want to at least have the 2D game made tonight, if at all possible. Again, if at all possible. Delete that node. So we're going to do another 2D node. This is going to be starting up the same idea. This is going to be a rigid body 2D node in this instance. All right, we're going back to the 2D. Here's me. This is going to be the mob, the enemy. Now it's time to make the enemies our player will have to dodge. Their behavior will not be very complex. Mobs will spawn randomly at the edges of the screen, choose a random direction, and move in a straight line. So this is going to be more complex, I'm going to have to hazard a guess, than the previous, just to making note of that. So we're going to do the same ideas. New scene, mob. This is using a capital M. But I will rename this to lowercase. Actually, no. Keep it capital. Capital for the MOD, for the mob. Alright. Rigid body, named mob. Add child node. Animated sprite 2D. Create. And then no, I gotta remember things. Visibility, ordering, texture, no. Right, add child node again, and then collision shape 2D. Alt cancel. Same idea. And child collision shape 2D. And then visible on-screen enabler. Okay, so that's what I've already done. They cannot be selected. They can technically be selected, but children are not selectable, make them selectable. Okay. Select the mob and set its gravity scale property in the rigid body 2D section of the inspector to 0. So gravity scale to, you know what? Simple as, do it that way. Okay. This will prevent the mob from falling downwards. In addition, under the collision shape 2D section, just beneath the rigid 2D section, expand the collision group and uncheck one inside mask. Okay. That is done. This will ensure the mobs do not collide with each other. Good point. That is a thing you would have to keep track of. All right. Set animated the sprite 2D like you did for the player. We have 3 animations: fly, swim, and walk. So, animation, new sprite frame. All right, so we're going to have 3 fly, swim, and walk, like we did with the last one. So, going into flying, swimming, and walking. Got those all set up. We're good to go there. Animation speed property has to be set for each individual animation. Adjust it to 3 for all animations. Animation speed. Is that speed scale? You can use the play animation buttons on the right of the animation. Sprite frames. Let's see. Let me go back to coding the player. Did it say anything about that? I just want to make sure. Creating the player scene. I'm just going back to... Okay, no, it didn't say anything about speed for player there. Right. Creating the enemy. Let's see. Okay, so it is just setting it to 3 FPS. Cool. Use the play animation buttons on the right input on the right of the animation speed. Doing a little dancey dance. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Alright. Pause. Stop. Okay. We'll select one of these animations randomly, because the mobs will have some variety. Like the player images, the mob images need to be scaled down. However, these are going to be scaled down to 0.75 instead of 0.5. As in the player scene, add capsule shape 2D collision. So it'll be capsule shape 2D. And then to align the shape with the image, you'll need to rotate the rotation property to 90. Angular, no. Transform, rotation 90? In the transform inspector. Under the transform inspector. I don't know if that was what I was. I want to see what the enemy is supposed to look like. But it's fine. I need to rotate. No, that. I need to set that back to 0. And this, I need to transform 90. There we are. Okay, so each of them is going to have the same. Alright, that's fine. Okay, this is going to get its own script. So before that, save. Select one of the animations randomly. So the mobs will have some variety. So I will say for the flying animation, you are going to have a little bit more leeway than you think because you're not going to be touching the wings because of how this is set up, but that's fine. All right, so going back to this, I'm going to start the script. Add a script to the mob like this. Extends rigid body. Create. Oh. Delete that one. No. Control Z. Control Z. I need to get rid of that. Tab. Script. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Minor panic. Okay, so function ready underscore ready. Mob underscore types equal array, open bracket, animated dot sprite frames dot get underscore animation underscore names. Okay. And then animated sprite 2D dot animation space equals space. Oop. Hey Cosby, how you doing? Mob types dot pick underscore random. Right, 2D dot play, and that's good. All right, save. I know the feeling. All right, so with that code, it states here. First, we get the list of animation names from the animated sprite 2D's sprite frames property. This returns an array containing all three animation names: walk, swim, or fly. In GD script code, we use the array pick underscore random method to select one of these animation names at random. Meanwhile, in C# code, we pick random number between 0 and 2 and select one of these names from the list. Array indices start at 0. The expression gd.randy, R-A-N-D-I, open bracket, close bracket, %n, selects an integer between 0 and negative n-1. Finally, we call play to start playing the chosen animation. The last piece is to make the mobs delete themselves when they leave the screen. Connect the screen exited signal to the visible on screen notifier. Oh, it's supposed to be visible on screen. No, it was visible. It's supposed to be visible on screen notifier, not enabler for that child. No node. So I'm going to go ahead and there, create. Cool. Mistake corrected. Cool. Let me see. So add a new function underscore on underscore variable underscore on screen on underscore screen underscore notifier underscore 2D underscore screen underscore exited open bracket close bracket parentheses UUE underscore free. Okay. The Q underscore free is a function that essentially frees or deletes the node at the end of the frame. This completes the mob scene. When the player and enemies With the player and enemies ready, in the next part, we'll bring them together in a new scene, we'll make enemies spawn randomly around the game board, and move forward, turning our project into a playable game. All right. I already have the mob, or the main. I'm going to go ahead and quickly save that. I'm going to go back to creating the enemy. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I think that's everything that they're looking for there. Okay. The main game scene. Now it's time to bring everything we did together into a playable game scene. Create a new scene and a node named main. The reason we are using node instead of node 2D is because this node will be a container for handling game logic. So I need to delete this node, other node, and just a node. And then rename this to main. All right. Actually, I should have my phone like this. I can better see what you're seeing. You don't need all of my screen visible, thankfully, for this, because the main parts are going to be here in the middle. Speaking of, boom. And save that just to be safe. All right. Add the following nodes as children. So with this one, I can't make them unselectable. I will note that. Add child node. Timer. Mob. Timer. Another timer. Screen timer. There. Cool. And then a third timer called start timer. And then a start position called marker 2D, and then we'll be naming it called start position. So, marker 2D, create, start. I'll just name it start POS. Start pause. Alright. The wait timer of each timer node as value shown here. So mob timer will be 0.5. Screen timer will be 1. Score timer, not screen timer. 4 timer will be 1, and then the start timer will be 2. All right. In addition, the one-shot property of start timer to on and set position of the start position node 240 by 450. Wait, no, that's supposed to be a child of main, not. All right. Position 240 by 450. 240, 450. All right. I think that's correct. All right. The main node will be spawning new mobs and we want them to appear at random location on the edge of the screen. Click the main node and add a child, path 2D. Path 2D. Great. Okay. Select the middle. Main node will be spawned. You will see new buttons here at the top of the edit. Select the middle, add a point, and draw the path. Clicking to add points to the corners. You have the point snap to the grid. I see. Okay. So we're going to add point. Here. Here, and here. Zoe, are you being a goofy, baby? Crying for attention, even though you don't like attention that much? Hold on. Look at this, baby. No. I didn't want attention. Yeah, she was doing it. Meow. 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 Yeah, Cosby. It's the Zoe. She went down. Anyway!
No.
Zoe ran away because beans. Probably wants some more. Funny cats. Alright. Back to the main purpose of the stream. Okay. So, I've got my nodes set up, or my spawn points set up here. After placing 4, click the Close Curve button, and your curve will be complete. Okay. Now that the path is defined... I need to change that to mob path. And then add a child node off of that. Path follow to D. And then rename that mob spawn location. This node will automatically rotate and follow the path as it moves. So we can use it to select a random position and direction along the path. Oh, I need to add the player. It didn't tell me that I need to add the player scene to... Okay. So it wants me to add the player scene in as the first child node. So go ahead and do that. Alright, so... Boop, boop. Yes, this is the first... This is the child node. This is the, supposed to be the first child node, so there we go. Okay. We're gonna Control S. Control S. Okay. Click the main node, and you will see the mob scene property. Oh, add a script to the main. At the top of the script, we use @export variable mob _ scene : space packed scene. Okay. So, at export, variable mob underscore scene packed scene variable score. All right. Click the main node. And you will see the mob scene property in the inspector under main.gd. You can assign this property's value in two ways. Drag mob scene from the file system doc and drop it into the mob scene property, which is what I'm going to do. It'll be this, so do that. Next, select the instance of player scene under main node in scene doc and access the doc node doc on the sidebar. Make sure to have the signals tab selected in the node doc. Okay. Player scene under the main node. Access the node doc. Alright, so you see the list of signals for the player node. Find and double click the hit signal. This will open the signal collection dialog, which it did, but you don't see that because I didn't feel like having everything visible or forcing everything to be visible. We want to make a new function named game over, which will handle what happens when a game ends. Type game over in the receiver method. Game underscore over. Receiver method box at the bottom of the signal connection dialog and click connect. You're aiming to have the hit signal emitted from player handled in the main script. Add the following code to the new function, as well as a new game function for a new game. Connect. Function game over. We're going to remove the void portion here. Score timer dot stop mob timer dot stop new game new underscore game. Hold on. New game function that will set everything up for a new game. Okay. Score space equal space 0. Player dot start position dot position and start timer dot start. Okay. Now we'll connect the timeout signal of each timer node to the main script. For each of the 3 timers, select the timer in the scene dot. And so connect. We're going to need the timeout. So mob timer. I'll set that. So score timer. Next. So for the score timer, I also need to add score plus equal 1. And then for the start timer, the on mob timer one is going to be a little more in depth. I already figured that to be the case, but we'll do it in the order that it tells us to have them in. So I'm just going to skip over this and then add. No. I want another. No, I want another. I forgot to set that to start timer. Wait, unless did I? Okay. All right. So add an extra there, and then there. Oh, I didn't need. Right, cool. And then delete that, and then add mob timer dot start and score timer start. I think I'm doing this correctly. If not, it will tell me when I go to start trying to play the little game I'm making here, following this tutorial. In on mob timer underscore timeout, we will create a mob instance. Picking a random starting location along the path 2D and set the mob in motion. Following the path follow 2D node will automatically rotate as it follows the path. So we use that to select the mob's direction as well as its position. We will spawn a mob, pick a random value between 150 and 250 for how fast each mob will move. It would be boring if they were all moving at the same speed. Note that a new instance must be added to the scene using add underscore child. So in the mob timer, so it would be variable mob space equals space mob underscore scene instantiate variable mob underscore spawn underscore location equal space mob path slash mob spawn location. Nope. Mob underscore spawn location dot progress underscore ratio equal space rand f mob dot position space mob underscore spawn location dot rotation plus pi divided space division 2. Space division space 2. There we are. Direction plus equal rand f underscore range minus pi divided by 4 comma pi divided by 4. I thought I had pi. Whatever. Alright. Direction not declared in current scope. Mob dot rotation equal direction. No. No. Alright, there we are. Direction. I'll do this. No. Direction plus equal rand f range pi divided by 4, comma, negative pi divided by 4, comma, pi divided by 4. And then mob rotation. Oh, I forgot to do variable. So variable direction equal mob spawn location oh okay, I messed up. Give me a moment to fix it. I'm gonna have to focus for a bit. I was so focused. I screwed up. Okay, this is why yeah, whatever. It's fine. I can fix. No. Okay. Mob position. I'm missing the mob. Mob position equal mob spawn location dot position. Delete that. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm very well aware. It's just been over 9 years since I last did any actual coding. Granted, that coding was in C++, but this isn't actually that different from basic C++. I will say that so far. So, and the training wheels are very much on. So, all right. But yes. Anyways, let me. So, variable location. Now is when I do the dot rotation plus I divided by 2. That should be mob spawn location dot progress ratio equals rand f mob position equals mob spawn location dot position. Variable direction equals mob spawn location dot rotation plus pi divided by 2. Direction plus equals rand f underscore range minus pi divided by 4 comma pi divided by 4, and then mob rotation equals the direction. All right, so far so good. Now, no, I need that variable velocity equal vector 2 rand f underscore range (150.0, comma 250.0) comma 0.0. Mob dot linear underscore velocity equal space velocity dot rotated direction. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out how to parse this into English. So I understand what it's supposed to do. So it's going to spawn a mob along the. Let me go back here. So it's going to spawn a mob along this path. It's going to give it a random direction to fly, swim, or walk across the playing area while my little guy is moving around. I saved because I want to make sure I don't lose my place. And then I need to add underscore child mob. Okay. And then I need to add the function. Let's see, does it say where it wants me to add the function? No, it doesn't. Oh no, I have a function for new game. No, function ready new game. I'm going to put this closer to the top. Colon new. All right, there we are. All right, clean up these indents that I don't need. All right. You don't need the indents. They are truly unnecessary if there's no actual code behind them. If you want to have something in the line, have the hash for comment. Or whatever your program language uses for it commenting. Okay, let's also assign main as our main scene, the one that runs automatically when the game launches. Press play and select main.scene when prompted. Actually, hold on, cancel that. I'm gonna go to this just to. Okay, so select current. Oh, there we are. It did not friggin' work. Errors too. The main parameter body is never used in the on body entered. Player relative to new game node not found. Player relative to root main. What did I fuck up? All right, I need to look over the. Okay, so instantiate. Oh, I don't need the void here. Um. Let's see. Parameter body is never used on body entered. I need to go to the mob. Where's it? Player. So I need to go back to the player, coding the player, and go back to pairing for collisions. Signal hit. Oh, I'm gonna. No. I need to go back to this quickly. I'll ask, go to player. Let's see. Okay, so function on body entered. Let's see, I go. Okay. Make. Let's see. Okay, so on. Okay, choosing animation, creating an enemy. Need to see. See. Back to the mob. Function ready. Variable mob types equal array. Animated sprite 2D. Sprite frames dot get animation names. Animated sprite 2D play. And then on visible on screen notifier 2D screen exited. So this is where we have my mobs. Body is never used in the function on body entered. New game not found. Node not found player relative to root main. I will rename that to lowercase p player. That may be the issue there. Yay! My little... Oh, it crashed. Keyliner velocity mob function at on mob timer timeout. Let's see. Error. Parameter body. Stack trace. Mob. Oh. Liner velocity. Linear. Oh, that was such a silly mistake to have made. Liner velocity. Linear velocity. Pause. And then I'm going to do this. Oh, it doesn't show. It crash. Non-existent function set deferred in base collision shape 2D. Okay. No, I get it. Okay. This is where they are. Oh, let's see. Disabled true. Okay, non-existent, invalid call, non-existent function set deferred in base collision shape 2D. So I need to go back to coding the player, preparing for collisions. Let's see. Oh, I am missing the underscore there. Save that. Set deferred. Oh, I've got a W there that doesn't need to be there. Save that. Okay, so... Oh, there's two F's there. It's supposed to be two R's. Dirt. This is where spelling is required. Understanding how to spell properly is required. Relaunch. Pause. Display capture. It's not wanting to show my game. My game. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Why is... Oh, right. Game capture is above. But yeah. Alright. So. Alright. It should, in theory, automatically reset me. But it didn't. That's fine. We are just... Okay. So, to main.gd. Yeah. Okay. Main game scene. I might need to put the function for new game at the bottom and not up at the top here. So the ready function for the new game might need to go down here. Underscore ready. New game. Now let's try. Okay, I guess not. That's fine. Okay, so we do have the basis of a game so far. Thankfully. Alright, we are going to testing the scene. You sure everything is working? You should be able to move the player around, see mobs spawning, and see the player disappear when hit by a mob. When you're sure everything is working, remove the call to new game from ready and replace it with pass. Okay. What's our game lacking? Some user interface. Alright. Okay, now we're going to save this and head... Oh, this. And head over to the HUD scene. We're also going to need to change this to a other node 2D to an other node. So we're going to delete this. Yes. Other node, canvas layer. Create the canvas layer. It's still called HUD. We're going to go to the 2D. Save. Okay. The final piece our game needs is a user interface, UI, to display things like score, a game over message, and a restart button. That's the thing that was missing. Got it. Okay, that's it. Create a new scene. Click the other node. create a canvas layer node named HUD. So, first and foremost, HUD, heads up display. An informational display that appears as an overlay on top of the game view. Canvas layer node lets us draw our UI elements on a layer above the rest of the game so that the information it displays isn't covered up by any game elements like the player or mobs. HUD needs to display the following information: score changed by score timer, a message such as get game over or get ready, and a start button to begin the game, or a restart button to restart the game after dying or losing, whichever you want to call it. Anyways, so basic node for UI elements is control. To create our UI, we'll need two types of control: label and button. Create the following children of the for the HUD. We're going to need a label. We're going to need two labels. So I'm just going to go ahead and add both labels now. First one is score label. Message. A button. Start button. Start button. And a timer. No. Don't add message timer. Click score label and add a number into the text field in the inspector. Type a number. The default font for control nodes is small and doesn't scale well. The font file included in the game assets called zeloniumregular.ttf under theme fonts. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do an arbitrary 100 for that. And then under theme overrides, font, load, fonts, zeloniumregular.ttf. Okay. Again, I just added the 100 as a generic number there, so it's fairly easy to see, thanks to the text. The font size is still too small. Increase it to 64 under theme overrides, font sizes. 64. That's a nice big number. Alright, once you've done this with the score label, repeat the changes for the message and start button. Okay. Message. Larg. And then theme overrides. I'll do font size 64. Font. Load. Font. Selenium. That's going to be too much, but that's fine. I'll just do hello world. All right, so start button. Theme override, font, load, font size. I guess 64. All right. Okay. Arrange the nodes as below. As shown below. So the score will be upper middle. Message. Oh, upper middle. Message will be here, and start button down. No. Middle. Start button down there. Aha. Yes. Score label. Set that to 0 now. Stretch. Alignment, center, top. All right. Horizontal and vertical alignment set to 0. Center, rather. Cool. Oh, I think the engine just decided it was gonna not cooperate. All right. No, it just... Okay. So I'm just gonna do bop. Let's see. Add text. Dodge the creeps. Message and center it. Vertical and horizontal alignment, center. And then auto wrap mode to Word. Oh boy. Auto wrap mode to Word. Dodge the creeps. Oh, center that. I'm gonna make that smaller because I want it to be. Well, no, that should be fine. 480 under control layout. Set size X. Transform size X should be 480. And then recenter. Start button. Add text start. I'm going to leave the exclamation point because why not? Set size. under control, layout, transform. Layout, transform. X to 200. No, I want 200. Why will you not let me set the size? 100. 200. Huh. It's not letting me change the size. Minimum size is 263. Weird. 244. Position Y, 580. I'm going to change the text to... No. Yeah, it won't let me change unless... Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, no. Oh, 100. There we are. Yeah, 244 is the smallest it will go now. For that. It's fine, it's minimal. And then message timer. Wait time 2. And 1 shot on. Next is to script the HUD. We'll save that. Noom, 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 noom. Alright, so. Let's see. Nope. Cancel that. Oh, I haven't been doing built-in script. That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna do underscore game. So function show underscore message text. Oop. Pardon me. Goodness gracious. Yep, blarg. Okay, so message dot text equals space equals space text, and then message dot show, and then message timer dot start. Okay. We also need to process what happens when the player loses. The code below will show game over for 2 seconds. Then return to the title screen after a brief pause, and after a brief pause, show the start button. So, new function, show underscore game over, show underscore message. Quote, game over. Oh, await. Await. Message timer dot time out. And I need to make sure I capitalize that because it has to be capitalized. Okay, that one. Message dot text equal dodge the creeps. Message dot show. Oh wait. Get tree dot create timer 1.0 dot time out. So I'm thinking it's gonna create start button dot show. Okay. You need to pause for a brief time. An alternative to using a timer mode is to use the screen tree's create timer function. This can be very useful to add delays, such as in above code, where we want to wait some time before showing the start button. And my guess is that the timer is a 1 second timer before the button is shown. And then func update underscore score or label dot text equal to string score. Okay, so my guess is that it will update the text here to the string that is the score. At least that's what I'm hazarding a guess that str means. In fact, I can even just... What is str short for input? So. Built-in function that converts any value to a string. I was correct. I am remembering things. Oh my goodness. So I am starting to learn how to parse this better. I am still going to need to learn. The 3D part will help. The 3D part, I may have to do the 3D part another night, because my voice is already getting a little bit sore from all the talking I've been doing. One good thing about playing about doing anything with someone else in chat is that I don't have to be the one filling in the dead air all the time. That's part of why I have the music going. Oh. Okay, it chose to do HUD.tscene or HUD.scene. I hope that doesn't... Oh. Save as. Save. Good. I don't need it saved as anything else. I need it saved as HUD.gd because that's how the whole freaking thing will actually cooperate. Okay, sorry about that. Mini rant over. Need this. Okay. Okay. Connect the pressed signal of start button and the timeout signal of message timer to the HUD node. So I'm going to node pressed connect. I'm going to delete the extra 2 there. And I'm going to delete the extra bit that I don't need. I don't need the arrow and the void. They are not necessary bits of code for me here. And I'm going to delete pass here to start button dot hide and then start underscore game dot emit. Okay, and then the next thing I need to do is get the timeout from the message timer. Connect. Delete the excess space. And delete the excess bit of code. One thing I know is that when I start doing my own actual coding, trying to figure out the best way to handle certain things, okay, it will get sloppy. I am wanting to try to minimize the number of lines I use. In fact, that extra line didn't need to be there. It just one, it looks cleaner. 2, it will make things so much simpler to parse it out if I have as little dead space. Pun not intended. All right, but yes, connecting HUD to main. All right, now that we're done creating the HUD scene, go back to main, the main instance. So I'm going to save this. Instance the HUD in scene. So I need to instantiate the HUD here. Not there. Not to that. Delete node. I need to instantiate it to stop. I need to instantiate it like so. All right. So there are 3 messages. Okay. So they're not important. I'm showing no errors. I'm showing no warnings. The code is looking good. Just because it looks good does not mean it is good. Okay. Now that I have instanced the HUD into the main, first and foremost, save. Okay. In the node tab, connect the HUD's start game signal to the new game function in the main node by clicking the pick button in the connect a signal and selecting the new game method. All right. Pick new game. Okay. Or type new game below receiver method in the window. Verify that the green connection icon now appears next to func new game in the script. It does. Cool! In new game, update the score display and show the get ready message. So go here, indent, update underscore score. I need to do a cool, and then HUD show message get ready. I will add an exclamation mark because it's urgent. Give the player a sense of urgency. They need to get ready. Okay, and then in game over, we need to call the corresponding function. Game over HUD dot show underscore game over. Remember to remove the call to new game from ready, which I already did, if you haven't already. Otherwise, your game will start automatically. Now you're ready to play. Click the play the project button. All right, we'll give that a go. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm going to do this because we're going to hit play in a moment. Let's see. Finally add this to keep display in sync with the changing score. Let's see. Function on score timer timeout. I need to add it to the function. First things first, I'm just going to HUD dot update underscore score. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's the last thing I needed to do there. That was the last thing it shows I need to do. So we are going to, before we open the game, the creeps. Oh, what? Null instance. Oh. Let's see. New game. Um, okay. Show is base in base null instance on a null instance. Let's see. So at line 18 here, let's see. I'm going to close this. Let me see. Function new game. Score equals 0. Errors. All right. Message show. Go back to the let's go back to this. So let's see. Message.show. Message. Oh, haha. Non-capitalization. That was my error. All right. All right, so I'm going to purposefully hit something after 20. Game over. Dodge the creeps. The game is working. Yay. Awesome. Okay. So, capture, close that. Alrighty. I am ecstatic. It's not everything done, but that's enough done so far. So go back to removing old creeps. If you play until game over, then start a new game right away. The creeps from the previous game may still be on the screen. It'd be better if they all disappeared at the start of the new game. We just need a way to tell all of the mobs to remove themselves. We can do this with the group feature. In mob scene, click mob scene, click the node tab and go to groups. Let's see, create new group. Name it mobs. Okay. Mobs. Okay, now all mobs will be in the mobs group. Then add the following line to the new game function in main. Script. Main. Indent. Get. Tree. Dot. All group. Then quote mobs, comma, base quote, Q U E U E underscore free. The call group function calls the named function on every node in a group. In this case, we're telling every mob to delete itself. The game's mostly done at this point. In the next and last part, we'll polish it a bit by adding a background looping music and some keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to test this one more time. Oop. I'm going to get so yeah. Dodge the creeps. I'm going to try to get to where there's a lot of mobs on screen. Okay, they just disappear before it gets to that point anyway, for me, here. Alright, this is perfect. Sorry. Okay, so it didn't remove that one. Okay. I need to fix the code. Let's see. Get tree. All right, I need to figure out okay, mob. So it's calling this here as part of that. I need to go back to the creating the enemy and check and see what I may have messed up in the code there. Function on variable on screen notifier 2D screen exited queue free. So for some reason it's not actually doing the call for the queue to be freed. Every time that happens. So the last pieces make the mobs delete themselves when they leave the screen. Connect the screen exited signal to the visible on-screen notifier node to a mob and add this code. Okay, so and then so I need to go to signal. Hmm. Okay, so let's see what people are saying here. Okay. Okay, the part confused me too. Like object dot free the node is not saved in its state and it also great. You see, people like me taking breaks between sections. Screen exited as a signal built into the visible on-screen notifier to be click visible on-screen notifier to be screen tree, then click node tab inspector. Connect this signal. And connect it to your mob node. Okay, so connect. It's the same as what I just did, but I just need to I can't just type this out, so that's fine. I'll just delete this whole thing and then add the Q free underneath it. All right. I think that may have been my error from earlier when I was doing it. I didn't, yeah, because it wasn't connected, and that's what was going on there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up again. All right, this one, it still didn't delete automatically. Okay, so that didn't matter that much. Right click. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to finishing the heads-up display, and then I'm gonna go all group. Need to go to the. I fixed this already. It's fine. Let's see. Main. And the new game. We can add the following line to the new game function. Get tree, call group, mobs. Let's see. Group. Oh. That would explain it. Because I had it unselected. That would probably do it, actually. Alright, try this again. Breakpoint. On start button pressed. Why? Let's see. Main. Go back to the main game scene. Let's see. Code. No, that was part of heads up display. Let's go. Let's see. Oh. Mob. So go to the signal start game. Game.emit. Breakpoint. Error. Stack trace. On at function. All right, I'm gonna launch it again. Start. At function on start button pressed. Start underscore game dot emit. Yes, and what is it connecting to? Start button pressed. Okay. Breakpoint. Stack variable object ID. Is it the fact that it's a self-referent? Let's see. I'm gonna go through it again. Hmm. And do this. That. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. That was big dumb. I'm gonna reselect. Huh? Why are you not working suddenly? It was working so long. I'm gonna do this. Switch to it. Okay. Game capture is being the dumb. Night. Suddenly. Script. 3D. 3D. Whatever. I'm just gonna do this. Right. Game capture is being dumb and being annoying suddenly. Okay, so I'm having. Alright, I'm gonna. On start button press. Why was it? Okay. There's a few enemies on screen. Okay, that time it removed it. Alright, I'm gonna wait until there's something that just spawns and it's pointing down pretty well. Okay, cool. It's working now. It is functioning properly now. I'm gonna hit Control Save because it is working now. I'm gonna do it again. You're gonna go for a while. As soon as I hit. All right. Perfect. Cool. It's working now. Perfect. It's working perfect. Perfectly. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn that off. Theme web helper. What is game capture not working? That is very strange and annoying. OBS is being dumb tonight. I do apologize, everyone. Okay. Let's head back to finishing up. All right. We have now completed all the functionality for our game. Below are some remaining steps to add a bit more juice to improve the game experience. Feel free to expand the gameplay with your own ideas. All right. The default gray background is not very appealing, so let's change its color. One way to do this is to use a color rect node. Make it the first node under main. So go back to the main, first node under main. Color rect, first node under main. So with that, inspector. All right. Make it the first node under main so that it will be drawn behind the other nodes. Color rect has only one property: color. Let's see. Choose a color you like and select layout. Anchors preset. Full rect. Let's see. I would like it to be a nice... Yeah, make it a nice bluey color. Like a darker blue in that range, and then full into the blue. Full into the blue. Full into the blue. Maybe a little more green. And then lighten it there. Cool. Okay. Choose a color you like and select layout. And under that, select anchors preset. And then go to full. All right. No, that's a nice blue. It's not too dark. But it's nice. Anyways. You could also create a background image. You could also use a background image if you had one by using a texture rect node instead. Now, for this part here, we are going to pause my music, as we are going to be adding sound effects and music. We're going to add 2 audio stream player nodes. Great. No. First one will be music. The second one will be death sound. On each one, click the stream property, select load. Stream, load, art, house in a forest loop. .ogg. Oh no, that was death sound. So I need to load game over. .wav. And then for the music, that's going to be house in a forest loop.ogg. Okay. All audio is automatically imported with loop being setting with the loop setting disabled. If you want the music to loop seamlessly, click Stream File arrow. Where is? Let's see. Click on each one. Click on Stream Property. Loop. Let's see. Click on the Stream File arrow. Make unique. And then click on the stream file and select loop box. Okay. Cool. All right. So I don't need to do that for the death sound. All right. Let's see. Is that into the main? It's in the game over function. So scripts main in game over. I'm going to separate these because this is going to be music dot play. No, music in the new game. Music dot play should go into the new game. Music dot stop. Death sound dot play. All right, and then in a new game, add music play. Cool. All right, so keyboard shortcut. Ah. So we are going to add a new. So with this, I can just say start game, add, and then I'm going to hit space for this. Okay. Now would be a good time to add controller support if you have one available, attach, repair controller, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to worry about that right now. This is more for me learning how to make the game rather than optimize it for anything in particular. Yes, we have. Okay, now would be a good time to. So. Okay. All right, close. All right, so let's see. Button node. Pardon me. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Start button in shortcut. Shortcut. New. So hold on. Actually, it'll be shortcut. And then event. Let's see. So I'm looking for in the HUD scene. In the HUD scene, yeah. Okay. Okay, let me see. Um so shortcut array input event size 0. Add scene, select shortcut property. The inspector create new shortcut resource by clicking within the box. Open the events array, which I don't see. Where is events array? Okay. Input. What is going on? Actually, hold on. The shortcut property, create new shortcut resource by clicking within the box. Ah, okay. Add element. New input event action. I'm a dumb. I never said I was smart. Okay, so input event action. Yes. Um, add new. Nope, not add new element. Delete. Zero. Zero. Add element. All right, thank you, Cosby. I'm just following a tutorial, so it's not anything massive. It's just trying to find things. Make sure. Let's see. New input action. There we are. And start game. Okay. Now, when the start button appears, you can either click it or press enter to start the game. You got to make a player-controlled character. Use this phone randomly on the game around the game board and count. There's so much to learn, but you take a moment to appreciate what you have achieved. Okay, I am going to test it again. Here. All right. Cool. I can indeed. Yeah. Let's see how far we can go here. I just noticed that the music isn't playing. The sound, the death sound plays, but the music doesn't. Okay. So, where e ah hmm. Dollar sign music play. Main music. No, inspector. I don't need that. So, autoplay. Let's see. Okay, select make unique. Check on the loop box. Music dot play. Music dot stop. Hmm. Hmm. Play the music. Add dollar sign music dot play in the new game function, and music dot stop in the game over function. So function new game. Music dot play. I might just delete. Oh. Is that what was causing it to not play? I'm gonna. Bada boom boom boom. Okay. Cool. That is the game basically done. That's actually kind of neat. I am pretty proud of myself. Okay, so project, export, add Windows desktop. Can't close. So let's see. I'm gonna switch to camera for now because this is not necessary there. Gaze. Okay, project. So, um, let's see. Export. I need to remove that. Oh, trash that. Yeah, there we are. Runnable, advanced options, resources. Bada, bada, bada. Okay, no export template found at the expected path. Uh, hmm. Windows debug. Let's see. Okay. Sure. Yes. Thank you very much for the tea. I'm going to need it. All right. So, I want people exporting projects. So, original Godot did not have any means to export projects. Developers would compile the proper binaries and build the packages for each platform manually. All right. Drop the Godot binary in the same directory as project.godot file, then compress. Okay. There are probably a few reasons why developers may not want to do this. First one is that it may not be desirable to distribute loads of files. Some developers may not like various users peeking how the game was made. Okay. Export. Yes. Okay. Are often enough to export, so tweaking them is usually not necessary. For many platforms require additional tools, SDKs, to be installed to be able to export. Additionally, Godot needs export templates installed to create packages. The export menu will complain when something is missing and will not allow the user to export for that platform until they resolve it. All right, let's see. At that time, the user is expected to come back to the documentation and follow instructions on how to properly set up that platform. Okay, export templates. Okay, go to projects, export, and go to projects, editor, manage export templates. Download and install. Oh, that's going to take a while because that's a 1.12 gigabyte. It's only going to take a few minutes, but I do need to do this anyways so I can actually export to make playable games. All right. So, I'm actually quite happy with how things have turned out. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be going for too much longer after I finish the export for the after I because this was a lot of brain power and a lot of vocal power for me. More than I'm used to. I was trying very hard to explain everything as I was going. I was trying very hard to keep talking about what I was doing, my thought process behind how I parsed things, at least to a degree, and trying to understand everything and not just have surface knowledge about the engine. Surface knowledge is not to be uh, underestimated, mind you. Surface knowledge can get you through the initial hump of dealing with things, but you gotta. Meh. But yeah, I'm just gonna. I think I am gonna call it after I finish downloading these. Again, only because my energy went from uh, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm actually quite happy with how far I've gotten tonight. I know it's just baby steps and all that, but baby steps are the first steps towards making strides, leaps, bounds, what have you, with anything. And what can I say? I'm kind of proud of myself for pushing through because this was, I will say, this is dry stuff. This is very, very dry, boring things. And it's installing the things, so Godot is being. Yeah. I will say this. Thank you again. I can export. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Export. Project. Zip. Save. Oh, RC edit tool must be configured in the editor settings. Windows RC export Windows RC edit to change the icon or app information data. Okay, I will just. Okay. All right. So copy. I'm gonna launch this. Oh, cancel. Close. I'm gonna. Oh, why did it open there and not? Why is it opening? Why? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go directly there. Documents. Documents. Hey. Copy. This is just going to be a basic Godot engine. I'm going to paste. Make a new folder because I don't like clutter. I'm going to extract 2. Hey, I'm going to do a thing. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Okay, that is... It's a simple little game, but damn it if I'm not happy that I was able to make it. I am happy with that, honestly. I am very happy with that little... Okay, I'm gonna call it here for the night. Thank you to everyone again for coming out. I will be back tomorrow night with probably not the next tutorial. I'll probably take a break from doing the tutorial. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you again for coming out. I'll see you all next time.